Hello, my name's Susan Carboni, and I'll be your instructor for Bio 117 Online. This podcast is mostly meant for students who did not have me online last semester or an online Bio 115. Those of you that took Bio 115 online another semester, there's really nothing new or different, so you probably don't need this podcast. For those of you that are doing this for the first time, I'm going to start by logging on to the CM Connect site. So the web address that you'll need is cmconnect.cmcc.edu, and you can find that in an email there's also a file attached to that if you didn't catch that web address. There are instructions right on the main page as to how you're going to log on. My login is a little different. Once you're into your CM Connect site, you'll notice that over here on the left, there's My Courses. You can open that up and it will list all of the courses that you are registered for the semester. I'm going to enter the Bio 11751N site. That's the site that you are registered for. And here's your classroom. This is called an e-learning site, and this is where you will find out what you need to do, and this is where your learning tools are. So the first thing I'm going to do is start with going over the syllabus. I'm going to access that by clicking on the syllabus page link. Then I typically right-click on the syllabus link here and it will open up. I recommend that everybody read the syllabus. I also recommend that you print it out in case you want to transfer this course someplace and the transferring school, the school that you want to transfer to wants to see the syllabus before they will allow you credit for AMP2. So the introductory information gives you my telephone number. I recommend that you do not use that. If you want to communicate with me about this course, it is much better to use the email here. I check email often, and I do not check my phone very often, or in the summer, not at all. I'll let you read about the Y online format, purpose and organization. If you're taking this AMP2, you should have received a C or better in AMP1, lecture and lab, or you should have permission from me, the instructor, to take this class. These are some pretty generic learning objectives. There are more specific objectives and files that are on the e-learning site that I'll point out to you towards the end of this podcast. The course topics are the list of the chapter titles that we will cover. If you've taken Bio 115, you should already have a textbook. If you're new to this course, I will be using Human Anatomy and Physiology by Marib and Hohen, the 9th edition, and that should have come bundled with Mastering AMP. You will need access to the Mastering AMP site to work on your homework. And there's an optional visual guide that is useful as a learning tool. This is giving you the course ID for the Mastering site. It's also on the main page of the e-learning site for Bio 117. So when you access the Mastering AMP site, if you took Bio 115, you're going to need to add a course, and you do that by going up into the left-hand corner of the screen, the Mastering AMP screen, once you've logged into your account, and there's a pull-down menu up there that will allow you to add a course, and you will use this ID in order to add that. So Bio 117 MCO Carboni is the new course ID that you will need for this course. There's a note about this course. It has some information on how you might want to study. I'm also on the main page of eLearning going to make available to you a vodcast that goes over how you should be studying for this class. I've already explained that you should email me with any issues. I usually respond the same day, if not the next day. Over the weekend it may be a little longer, but probably not. And then I will let you know if I'm going to be away for an extended period of time. Oops, went too fast. All right, let's go back to, okay. You can contact me and your other classmates by the classmate function that is on the eLearning site. And I also want to back up and explain that you have a gradebook on your eLearning site in the classroom. The mastering grades need to be put in manually from the mastering site by me into the CM Connect site, the eLearning gradebook. I will do that periodically through the semester. Okay, so what are you going to do during this course? You are going to first get out the syllabus and read it. And then towards the end of this syllabus, you're going to see that there's a schedule. So you're going to read each chapter, and then you're going to watch and listen to the vodcasts that I provide for you. I'll show you on the eLearning site where you will find them. And you're going to do your homework. After you read the chapters and listen to the vodcasts, you'll go to the masteringamp.com site to work on your homework, which will be due every week. There may be one or more chapters. This is a truncated course. There's 12 weeks instead of 16 weeks, so you've got a lot of work to do. Then the homework is actually due every Sunday night, and the quizzes are due on Monday nights. There probably won't be any requirement to use the student forum section of this class. If so, I will email you. Also, during the semester, there are 2 exams, a midterm and a final. They are proctored. So as you're going through this course, you are going to be able to use your textbook for the homework and the quizzes. You will not be able to use any outside resources when you take the proctored midterm and final. So you're going to need to organize the information so that you can answer enough questions on the midterm and final to do well and to pass the course. So there is going to be a vodcast made available to you to explain to you how you should be studying for this. There's also a section on the main page that goes over information about the proctored exams. I will email you that information in a couple weeks and also point out to you that it's on the main page. Right now, I just want you to get going in the course, and we'll talk about the midterm in a few weeks. So not only will you be doing reading the chapters, completing the homework, listening to the vodcast, and quizzes, you will be completing a midterm and a final. I want to also let you know that there are 2 case studies that will be due over the semester. The deadlines are in the Coursework page, which I'll show you on the eLearning site. So one of the most important things to realize about this course is that your final grade will mostly be determined on how you score on the midterm and the final. Exam 1 is 35% of your grade, Exam 2 is 35% of your grade. So your average for the midterm and the final, 70% of your grade. So you really need to have your study guides ready and know what you need to know well before those 2 exams. Your homework is worth 10%, quizzes 15%, and the case studies 5%. All of the other assignments, the homework, the quizzes, and the case studies will help you to prepare for the midterms, but they do not contribute significantly to your grade. There's also the optional visual guide that working in that is a learning tool and will not contribute to your grade. So everything that you do, all the assignments that you do during the semester will have a numerical grade, and by the formula, your grade at any time will be in the gradebook. And if you want to convert that to a letter, you do that by this grade scale right here in the syllabus. This is going over the navigational aids. I'm going to take you to the eLearning site and go over with you how to navigate that classroom. This Getting to Class talks a lot about what's available for you for study tools. There is a separate vodcast on how to study, and so it goes over most of what is written right here. This is a section before Exam 1 and 2. You need to decide how you're going to take the exam. You can take it on campus at specific times. You can arrange for an off-site proctor. You can also use an online proctoring service called ProctorU that will cost you money. If you have technical difficulties using CM Connect, our IT department has hours during the week. They are Monday through Thursday, 8:30. Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and then Friday, 8:30 to 4:30 p.m. And this is their phone number. This is their email address. So their email address is its@cmcc.edu. So the last part of this syllabus tells you what you'll be working on each week. It doesn't have the exact deadlines here. You will get those from the blog area on the eLearning page, which I will go to next. But by week it tells you which chapters we're going to be working on, and just realize that the activities become repetitive. You read the chapter, you work on your homework, you take a quiz. Hopefully you will be putting together your study guides for those, and then half the semester you will be assessed on at the midterm. The second half of the semester you will be assessed on at the final. So this is the schedule. You can print that out so you know what we'll be doing. The last part of the syllabus talks about various other topics, withdrawals, how you would go about doing that. Incompletes, if you're going to request that. Plagiarism is basically saying you shouldn't be copying other people's work. There's a disability access statement, and the coordinator, if you're going to request accommodations, disability accommodations, the contact person is Jennifer Lyons. Her phone number is here. Her email address is here, jlyons@cmcc.edu. We are an affirmative action campus. To talk about that with a campus official, you would contact Barb Owen, and her email address is bowen@cmcc.edu. The ethical behavior statement basically says you should be doing your own work and that cheating has some pretty serious ramifications. The netiquette section talks about how to participate in an online class appropriately without offending anybody. Okay, so what I'm going to do in the second part of this vodcast is go back to the eLearning site, the main page of the eLearning site, and explain to you what you have there. So right here, as you log on to the site, you will see an introductory section. Read that. It will actually tell you that some introductory information. It isn't here yet, but this is where I'm going to put that vodcast that goes over how to study. Over here on the left-hand side is the information that you need in order to log on to the Mastering A&P site and to set up your account. The course ID is here. I'm also going to insert a vodcast here that shows you how to log on and some of the very special features of that site, because the study tools there are just amazing. Then here's the introductory vodcast that you're listening to right now. The other very important thing is this blog site and I will click on this so you will see everything that will be due. You should check in with this once a week to figure out when your deadlines are and what you need to be doing. So the week of May 19th, you need to explore the Bio 117 CM Connect eLearning site. If you've already got an account, that's fine. If you don't, you're going to want to explore that and find out what the study tools are. You're going to be reading Chapter 15, listening to Chapter 15 vodcasts, doing your homework on Chapter 15, and then by Sunday, May 25th at 11 p.m., you should have your homework done. And then when I post the next blog here section, it will be the next week, and quizzes are due on Monday night. So homework is due on Sunday night, quizzes are due on Sunday night. I'm sorry, quizzes are due on Monday night, so expect that there will be a quiz on Chapter 15 on Monday, May 26th. Okay, so back to the main page, and the other thing I will tell you is right now this blog is down sort of, that's not where I want to be. I want to be on the main page, and the introductory message is here. You have to scroll down to find the blog. Starting next week, this blog will be the first thing that is at the top of the page. Okay, so what else do we have here? We've already looked at the syllabus. Let's go to the coursework page, and before I do that, I'm going to make it look like it will look like for you. So if you click on the coursework page, these are all the assignments that you will need to complete. This section tells you what's coming up next. So you've got mastering homework and you've got quiz number 1. Just keep in mind that your homework is done on the www.masteringamp site. The quizzes are done right here. So to take this quiz, you would click here. It will tell you right here when it's due. And you only get one chance at a quiz. So once you start the quiz, be prepared to finish it. Quizzes typically have 20 questions, and they will you will be allowed 30 minutes. If you get booted out of a quiz for technical issues, make sure you email me. I'll always allow you to go back in. When you're in a quiz, do not use this back button up here. That will get you booted out. As a matter of fact, as you're working in Eraser, you might not want to use the back button. Use your cookie crumbs up here to navigate from one page to the other. Some of the pages allow for the back button to work, the Gradebook and the Coursework page, but we all forget where we are. So using this back button up here doesn't work like it does on most internet sites. So that's the Coursework page. The quizzes are on the top. Then you get to the homework. And remember, these aren't links to get to your homework. They're just telling you when they're due. Tells you to go to www.masteringamp.com. Then further down here, these are the links for your midterm and final, which you won't need until those come up. And then these are the links for your case studies. There are 2 case studies. It tells you when they're due. And if you click here, it will actually explain those case study assignments for you. And you can work on those anytime. They're ready, and you can work on those when it's appropriate. Okay, the Classmates button. You may email me. You may email other faculty, not other faculty, you want to do that. You want to email other students. This is me with my Newfoundland Luna, who just turned 11 last month. If you want to email me, you click on my name and you go all the way down to the bottom and you email selected members. If you want to email all the students, you can do that here. But if you want to email just one or a couple of students, then you would select their names up here and then come down and hit selected members. Once you do that, a box for completing your email comes up. You need to put in a subject line. You need to have something in the body of the email, and then you can go back down here and send it. Okay, the Gradebook. If you want to know where you stand in the class, this is a summary of all of your grades. Of course, this is me as a fake student, so there's nothing here yet. So as the grades start to be put in, then you will see how you are doing. This is the link for the vodcasts. Vodcasts are a recording of my voice along with a PowerPoint presentation. There's quite a few. I highly recommend that you listen to these. So you click on the link, it brings you to the YouTube site, and welcome back, everyone. I hope everyone had a good holiday season and a nice break. That would be a good as we start back into anatomy and physiology spring semester. So I'm not going to have you listen to that whole vodcast, but you can listen to it full screen. I recommend that you move your mouse or use your mouse pad to let CM Connect know that you're still there, because it will close out every 15 minutes. So just make sure that you move something up and down. You can move the page up and down so that you don't get frustrated with having to get back in and start again. Okay, so let's go back to the main page. So all of the vodcasts are here. They're ready for you. You can work ahead if you want. And I highly recommend that you listen to the vodcasts after you read the chapter, because I give you pointers on what it is that I want you to focus on. And sometimes I eliminate some parts of the chapter. So before you listen to the vodcasts, actually, I suggest that you print out these lecture outlines. These lecture outlines have the text from the PowerPoint slides. So let me open one of those up. If you haven't taken the course, you might not know that these are here. Okay, here is the lecture outline. So the first chapter in Bio 117 is special senses. This is part A. So this section right here is what's on the first slide that I will talk about. These are a really nice skeleton for a study guide. So if you have these printed out while you're listening to the vodcasts, you can take notes on them and put details in there. Then I recommend that you go and get the chapter outlines, not the chapter outlines, the chapter objectives, which are down here, and start making your own study guides. So let me just open a chapter objective for you, and so I can explain to you what I mean. Okay, so here we have, oops, let me minimize that. Let's see if I can find the one that I want. I want the objectives. There we go. Okay, so the objectives are stated as describe the structure and function of accessory eye structures, eye layers, and the lens and the humors of the eye. So after you've listened to my vodcast, you'll know what detail that I want you to know about that, and you can then summarize that as that objective, and I actually expect you to write it out. I give you on the main page of your e-learning site an example of what Chapter 1 study guide looks like, and I realize you're into Bio 117, but it's just an example of what I mean of by taking the Chapter 1 objectives and writing out a study guide. So then the next objective would be outline the causes and consequences of cataracts and glaucoma. Then the next one's trace the pathway of light through the eye to the retina. Explain how light is focused for distance and close vision. So if you write out answers to those in brief statements or in bullets, it will become a very useful study guide. Okay, so I'll minimize that and go back to... Okay, so that's the story behind the vodcasts and the PowerPoint text outlines. You also have available to you PowerPoint slides. And let me just open that. These are the actual slides that I use in my vodcast presentations. But I don't necessarily recommend that you print all of these out. These have the text from the PowerPoint slides along with the diagrams, but they're small, so they're of limited value, and you have the diagrams in your textbook. So I've outlined for you what I think the A plan is, but for students who want these slides, there's 6 per page. They're up there for you, and I don't think I want to do that. Yeah, maybe I do. Okay, yes, that was a good choice. Okay, the next topic is Adobe Connect sessions. I will be offering through the semester Adobe Connect sessions, which are sessions where I log on to the same website as my students, and I give you that link through an email, and you will be able to see me and hear me, and you will communicate with me through chat. We can solve problems that way that you're having with some of the administrative type of stuff with the course, and I have exercises for whatever chapter I'm going to cover that night, and you type your answers into me. Students that participate in these Adobe Connect sessions find them very, very useful. So hopefully you will be able to attend those, and it will help you with knowing the information that in the chapters. A couple of other links that you have on this page: useful videos and useful websites. If you need to add to your knowledge of a topic, if you want to hear somebody else's explanation on something, the useful videos are organized by chapter information, and the useful websites the same thing. So use those to your advantage. Okay, let's go back to the main page and see what else is there. I've told you about the introductory section. This is the introductory vodcast you're listening to. This is the blog. Over here on the top is the information on mastering A&P. There will be a vodcast inserted in here that will explain how to log on and some of the useful features, the study tools that are there. This is an area, there are study guides down here for both the midterm and the final. So I suggest that you look over the study guides that you put together and make sure that you have the information that's talked about in both of these study guides. And the area down here talks about proctored exams. So you will be reading that in a few weeks. I will email you when it's time to look there to figure out where you're going to take the proctored midterm. Also in this section here, files relate, no, actually up here, I'm going to add an example of what a study guide looks like. It's for Chapter 1 in the textbook, but once you read the, or not read, but listen to the vodcast on how to study, I basically go through how you put together that study guide, and I'm just going to post it here so you have access to that, so you can see what that looks like. Okay, I'm sure I may have caused you to want to ask some questions. The best way to get those answered is to email me. I check my email a lot, so you have any questions, any problems, make sure you email me. So just to recap on what you need to do to get going, you need to log on to the CM Connect site, print out and read the syllabus. You need to set up your Mastering A&P Bio 117 site. The information to do that's here, and then you're going to get started reading Chapter 15 and start doing the homework and make sure you take the quiz by the due date.